Hi, I'm Mike White.
And I'm Rob St. Mary.
And we're the hosts of the Projection Booth podcast.
If you haven't heard of the Projection Booth, that's okay.
But we think it's time that you have.
We've been doing this for over 3 years now.
And we think we're doing a pretty good show.
Every week we look at a different film and put it in context.
We try to bring you interviews with the people behind the films.
Or experts on a subject matter covered in the film.
We don't specialize in any one particular genre or type of film.
We try to examine every aspect of cinema.
From every corner of the globe.
Even at 3 years, we barely just scratched the surface.
But we're ready. We're ready for you to listen to us.
That's right. Now's the time to give us a shot.
Download us through our free smartphone app.
Or through Stitcher, iTunes, Geek Juice Radio, Jackalow.
Or our website,
projection-booth.com.
We'll keep making great shows.
Now it's your turn to listen to them.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthmacore Studios near Detroit, Michigan, it's Unregimented.
Gangsters, what's up, guys?
Hey, thank you for listening, liking, and sharing Unregimented on Facebook, following us on Twitter at UnregimentedPod. You can subscribe to Unregimented on iTunes for free by clicking through the iTunes banner on ChristopherMedia.net. Android users, you're covered as well. You can find this show on Stitcher Radio. We also have the player right on the site there. You can now listen to a new episode of a Christopher Media show every day of the week. On Sundays, you got M&M Question Everything. Mondays, of course, Unregimented. Tuesday, you get the Wheatsman Podcast bonus nugget. And whenever Todd gets around to it, you get the Toddzilla X-Pod. Wednesday, we got a new show. It's the Oddcast with Jenna and John. Thursday, your second dose of Unregimented for the week. Friday, you got the Wheatsman Podcast. Saturday, another new show, The Captain's Table, for all you guys into nerd culture, we'll say. Your LARPing, your RPGs, video games, any kind of gaming, really. No one's going to cover it on The Captain's Table. So please check those out. Are all at ChristopherMedia.net. You can subscribe for free to all of them on iTunes. Stitcher as well. Hey, if you like what we do and you would like to show your support for us, you can donate to Christopher Media by using the PayPal button on ChristopherMedia.net. Please click through the Amazon banner on ChristopherMedia.net and bookmark the page. It won't cost you anything extra, and when you buy something, it will help to show your support for Christopher Media. If you're looking to launch your own website, please click through the HostGator banner at ChristopherMedia.net. That's who we use to host all of the Christopher Media shows. When you sign up for HostGator by clicking through our link, you are helping to support ChristopherMedia.net. DraftKings.com, daily fantasy sports leagues. No season-long commitment. You can enter free or paid contests and win your share of over $200 million in prizes. When you click through the DraftKings banner at ChristopherMedia.net, you will get a free first-time deposit bonus when you sign up for DraftKings.com.
There's one more interesting thing that I came across, which is that Google, which is just in its ever continuing mission to take over everything in the world.
You mean the CIA? I mean Google, yeah.
Right.
Is this where you're telling me artificial intelligence has been developed?
No, they're working on that. That's a separate program for Google. But they've developed a program where because a lot of people search for ailments on Google now.
Right.
And you can, there's WebMD and other services that will help you kind of diagnose yourself, which is a really dangerous thing.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't think any of these websites are coming out and saying this is a diagnosis.
Right.
But people
this is pointing you in the right direction.
Right, but it can be a very dangerous tool.
Well, yeah, when you got the lemmings reading something, it's kind
right.
of...
Remember that episode of Marin where he thought he had cancer?
Right,
and it said he had a canker sore and he'd been eating black licorice all week.
Right.
He finally goes to the doctor. Doctor's like, that's a canker sore and you've been eating licorice. You're an idiot.
Right. Google has this service where if you type in that you're searching for some sort of ailment, it
Blue
will...
Waffles. Look up Blue Waffles.
It will offer...
Should I do that right now?
Yeah, photos.
Are you serious?
No, he's got to look up Blue Waffles video.
I don't want to do this now.
Photos.
You don't know what he's talking about?
It's like he sent me something He sent me something on Facebook Messenger the other day talking about the new male sex trend or something, and I was like, I don't want to click
on it.
This could be anything.
If you don't do it, I'll put it on my iPad, and you'll be like, oh!
So...
Brace yourself, by the way.
So... Did you see one?
Oh, boy. Oh, hey. Jesus. Oh, good Lord. Now, is it the nutsack or is it the gentleman with the blue shit all over his face?
Oh, it's not a nutsack. That's actually the intestines coming out.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Blue Waffles.
All right. Waffles off my menu list for a while.
No more Belgian waffles for you with blueberries, right?
So Google offers
Fuck
this
you,
service.
Internet. Can I get a big fuck you for the internet?
Not the two assholes sit here tell you look it up.
Sometimes having all of the world's information at your fingertips is not a good thing.
All right, back to what
I think the next Google service should be that they just mind erase you. Like if you went down the wrong, typed in the wrong search for something, saw something or read something that you wish you hadn't.
No, maybe it's the
They
feature
can just wipe your mind.
we
Like
talked
in
about with
Eternal.
Rich on
They'll do
earlier
that with
Unregimented.
the Oculus Rift. They'll do that. Sorry.
It's a feature we talked about with Rich on earlier Unregimented that they should have for Twitter and text messages.
Yeah.
Are you sure? You should install that in Google.
Yeah, but
Blue
they-
Waffles.
Are
You
you
sure?
Yeah, Google should have like an undo function that wipes your brain. Like it just makes it, or just goes back in time.
I actually almost got into a car accident. I was listening to a radio show locally, and they were talking about a Blumpkin, and I had no idea what the hell a Blumpkin is. So, you don't know what
you don't know what a Blumpkin is?
Wait. Here, you'll get the comedy. I'm driving down the road, listening to the radio.
Yeah.
And I pull out my phone, and I was stopped in traffic when I did this, by the way, police officers out there that listen.
Oh, they'll
And I
even
was
get
like-
you for that.
I said,
Just tell them you were looking up directions.
what is a Blumpkin?
Blumpkin, the act of performing fellatio while the recipient is defecating in a toilet.
Now, imagine driving down the road. Your phone said that. And I'm on the road.
The Google bitch is off the chain.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Was that Siri saying that?
No, that's the Google chick.
That's the Google chick.
Do it on Siri. She'll probably be like, no,
you can get-
I ain't answering that shit, you freak.
You can get Siri to curse. You just have to get her to call you. You have to have your name be something vulgar, and she'll like call me bitch ass motherfucker.
You would like me to call you bitch ass motherfucker.
There you go.
Nice.
So yes, damn the internet. And like voice recognition and driving is not.
A study came out this week or last week that all this wireless shit, we're more distracted than before when we were picking up our phone.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, all the voice stuff, because we're now checking our phone in addition to saying it to make sure that what we said went down.
Yeah, you're double checking
I've sent some nasty texts to my wife and didn't mean to.
Oh my!
I'm picking up some coke today. I'm fucking you in the rear today, or something like that. Like my wife sends me back. No, we established that wasn't ever going to happen.
My one buddy the other day.
I'm a terrible
It turned into
person.
something. It sounded like he was being super gay, but he was using Siri. He says, "Sweet, I'll get you up." He meant to say, "Sweet, I'll hit you up." I just replied with, "You,"
You better bring somebody else.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
If you read some of the things my neighbor said to me on purpose, is like, what the fuck, dude? But he calls me a felcher all the time. You know what a felcher is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
I love how you didn't bat an eye that we both know what felching is.
No, well, I would hope so at these, at this time. And he'll be like, "You fucking mung felcher." I'm like, "What the hell is mung?" He's like, "Well, that's basically like, when, the afterbirth."
Oh.
Yummy.
So like, basically, mung felching. That's kind of fucked up.
Cover your ears, kitty.
Yeah. Sorry, kitty cat.
So
She is still a child.
Anyway,
the reason I
back
brought this up was that when you do a Google search on an ailment now or trying to diagnose yourself, they will ask you if you want to actually do a web chat with an actual doctor. And this is a service. This is something that they're trying to monetize, obviously.
Another excuse for guys to show their cocks on the cam to somebody. Hey, doc, does this look infected?
Oh, man. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. But no, they're actually, I guess they're paying these doctors, but Google's paying it for now because it's kind of like a trial period. So Google's taking care of the fees. I don't know. I guess we already kind of talked about the pitfalls of that. If you should see a doctor, shouldn't we just really be promoting people to go see a doctor rather than giving them easier venues of talking to a doctor in ways where you're not going to be able to get a real diagnosis?
Right.
Or maybe you can. I don't know.
Well, then you can just order your pills from online from Canada or Mexico.
Right.
Well, like he does anyway.
I get mine from India.
Yeah,
Right.
like There's-
I got something funny to say about that. Now, a person that I know really, really well came back from Mexico with some ibuprofen and gave it to somebody else that I know really, really well, and then said, do you want some? And I'm like, well, technically, because it was like 1,000 or 800 milligrams of ibuprofen. I'm like, well, technically that's like international drug smuggling.
Right.
And this person's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, yeah, it actually technically is. So
that drug has not been approved for sale or use in the U.S.
Right. And no U.S. company, well, they have made money off of it.
Right.
And that's the thing is, like, us as Americans, we pay the higher dollar for drugs because of the fact that we have more money and we pay for the rest, help pay for the rest of the world to have cheaper drugs.
That's right. Which is why I get mine from India, because they're subsidized by the government.
Right.
Fuck. Why can't they give me the 70s version? Let's get the stupid 80s version of this whenever I play it.
Dude,
I don't know what's wrong
you
with
better
it.
go check your pants after that one.
The big drums.
Didn't you ever see the bucket list, never trust a fart? Like,
He ate burritos.
I never had seen the movie, actually.
that's
He
actually
has
kinda
ingested refried beans, so this is the excuse.
Yeah,
I
I'm
will
glad-
make an excuse for him.
I'm glad you guys went with me yesterday, man. I was like Desert Storm syndrome going on. It's like, holy shit. Ate some pizza with pork in it. That was the end of me.
Oh, and as we know, you just talked about pork on the one I think I put up.
Yeah, I did. You know what, man? I feel guilty because, like, I would love to listen, but I have, like, no freaking time.
Yeah.
I have no time. Like, I want to listen to, like, Toddzilla. I want to listen to Eminem. I want to listen to this podcast, I put it on and hear my voice. I'm like, oh, I sound like a fucking idiot. All right. I'll just let everybody out there in the world.
So I did radio for a while, decade plus ago. So I got over that a long time ago.
Oh, yeah, I really don't. I mean, hey, I'm sitting here right now, right? I mean,
that's true.
I listen to...
You've come back.
Yeah, most of and I appreciate the invite. And, but anyways, getting back to your point on Google and doctors, but if it can be an actual, like, doctor, like real doctor, not just like some doctor who got his PhD in, like, Afghanistan or something,
Sure.
because that happens. I'm okay with it, but as long as, like, it's not something major. Like, if it's cancer, like, get your ass to the doctor.
Right. I'm sure there's certain things where they're just not going to answer your question. Does this look like cancer? I can't tell. You got to go to the doctor and get it checked out.
Yeah, you got to get, like, all that shit done. Get it cut out, and they have to do all the, technical terms for doctor stuff.
Yeah. They have to do a biopsy.
Yeah, thank you. That word was, like, rattling around in the abyss of my head. Like, what is that word?
But I guess it's like, I don't know. I imagine that there's a lot of doctors out there that are against this because, well, we run into this a lot with this, information. There's so much information on stuff that's freely available. I'll use my car as an example. I've been going through a lot of trials with my car, trying to keep it from overheating and trying to diagnose what the problem is. And I don't have money to really spend on this car, and I don't really want to spend any more money on this car. It was a cheap car. I've gotten more than what I paid out of it. But I'm just trying to extend the life of it and not have to pay hundreds of dollars to have somebody fix it. So I'm using the internet as a source to try and help me diagnose, and it gave me information on how to properly flush and burp my cooling system. But I have, in the same building that I work in, there's a auto shop, and so I went over and talked to the guy that runs that, and I was telling him, I went through all this and that, and I can't get this car to stay cool, and he just, you can see that, like, he was just frustrated with the conversation in general. Here's some idiot who doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not trained in this, and he's coming in trying to tell me what he's found on this rather than just bringing me the car and letting me diagnose it, which is what I do.
Well, yeah, you're taking money out of his pocket. He wants a diagnostic fee.
Well, sure, but yeah, I mean, I'm just not going to do that anyway. I would just put that money into a new vehicle.
Yeah. Right, yeah. And notice the van wasn't there anymore.
But you kind of get into that with doctors, too, now. I'm not going
to waste a copay. Like when I feel under the weather, I'm not going to waste a copay for, and this could go into the guy mentality with doctors, but I'm not going to waste my time, gas, energy, copay to here, take some Tylenol, rest, push fluids.
Yeah.
At this point, I do that And if I don't pop out of that in a couple days, then I go to the doctor, because, okay, this is persistent.
Yeah, they'll give you a vitamin B shot.
This could be something serious, but if, if I wake
antibiotics.
Like, I woke up a few weeks, the way time goes, it's about a month ago now. I was on the road. I felt it, okay, I feel like I got a fever, I feel weak, I got some upper respiratory things. What did I do? I fucking pretty much drank that airborne shit for 3 days straight.
Yeah. Right.
Drank hot tea, drank juice, went home early a couple days, got some rest, and bam. A couple days later, back to normal. Why did I need to pay $100 plus the cost of a prescription for...
Right, well, when there's not really anything that they can do for you when it comes to your encounter with the flu or cold.
Now, if I'm missing half of my pinky finger, okay, I'm going to the doctor. We're going to the emergency room. Hey, this is on ice. I got my stump. Can we work this out? I can't do that myself.
Last time I went to the hospital, I went to the emergency room for my finger, which I don't think the nail's growing back. It's like I'm missing a good section of this right here, and it doesn't appear to ever be growing back.
No, when you rip out your nail, it takes a while. It's happened to me before. It's going to take probably about... Ouch. I'm sitting here playing doctor, but it'll take a while. It'll come back, but it's going to take a while.
Yeah. Well, I went to the hospital, to the emergency room. They took care of it, flushed it out and bandaged it up for me. But there's not really much they can do other than make sure that it's clean and, I didn't have any shit still in there. But they've called me 4 times now. They've always called me at work, and I just let it go to voicemail. But they've made 4 calls to me, and it's an automated message, but they're following up and wanting to know, how I'm doing, basically. Which I've gotten...
You're a dude with insurance. Yeah, they want to know how you're doing.
I'm not insured.
Oh, you're not insured?
No, I'm not insured, yeah.
I went to the hospital last week. I have heard not one thing.
Although the bill was paid. My employer paid the bill, so...
I got a car accident last week in upstate New York and ended up having to be just taken and checked out. They did a CAT scan on my head. They x-rayed my neck. I haven't heard shit from them.
Yeah, usually...
You lost a nail on your finger and they're calling you back.
No news is good news.
Yeah.
Wait, no news is good news. You better call them back.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten, in the mail the survey, where you can tell them all about your visit and all that type of shit. But this type of follow-up is foreign to me, especially from an emergency room visit. Now, this was in Grosse Pointe as well, and it was a very nice hospital, I must say. So, I don't know. I guess there's a different level that they're doing things at there, and I don't think if I went to a hospital in downtown Detroit, I'd be getting the same type of follow-up. But who knows? I'm making assumptions, too.
I have noticed, though, going to the hospital with my kids, being insured, I don't sit very long in the waiting room.
Really?
Nope. They find out that, you go into triage. It takes me, it takes 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes to get in triage. And then they see your insurance card. And man, I'm telling you, my ass went from triage to the one hospital I went to, they actually took me to a special area. And I sat in another, just all these people. I'm like, do you guys got insurance? They're like, yeah. And it was, it was all
I got bumped. I got pushed ahead of the line.
Yeah, that's the same with me.
They saw I had Blue Cross.
Twice,
They need to send me for a CAT scan. They're like, you get to jump ahead of the line, buddy. I'm like, oh, cool. I guess it's my white privilege or whatever. It's my insurance privilege.
It's insurance privilege, yeah. Hey, dude, I'm paying.
I'm
paying for you to, if you don't have insurance and you're sitting there,
if they know
and I do, and I have insurance, they know that I'm going to pay. It's going to be paid for, and then that person that's sitting there is also going to be subsidized from.
But that's another debate that you get in with a lot of people.
I
Healthcare is not a right in this country, man.
No, it's not.
It's a privilege because it's,
And I kind of feel that sucks. Mm-hmm. I think everybody should be treated the same. We have the best healthcare in the United. I mean, the best medical people, doctors, nurses, everything that I know. Of my non-traveling anywhere, but as the media tells me, we have the best medical care in the world. Do I think we should pay for it? Well, yeah, one way or the other. I mean, it's not.
We're going to anyway.
Yeah, right. It's
whether it comes from our insurance cards or out of our tax dollars, it will be paid for.
But do I think it's right that my kid has a broken finger and there's a dude with a severed limb that my kid should go ahead of the dude with the severed limb? No. I mean, come on, man. If he doesn't have insurance and I do, I mean, that's human. That's basic human decency.
I mean, that's ethical behavior on the part of the hospital. Right. That's a whole different conversation.
And I'm not saying that happened.
But you know what? I don't doubt it does happen.
There were people obviously worse off than what we were when we were in there. And, at one time my kid had stuck it's called a squinky. I don't know if you know what this toy is. It's this little rubber, like silicone toy, little miniature animal squinkies.
Yes, my daughter has many of them.
My kid stuck one up his nose.
Oh, man.
$4,000 later, they had to put him. I took him to 2 different urgent cares, and it was a snowy night. And the last urgent care doctor's like, he has to go to the hospital. They're gonna have to sedate him. So I take him to the hospital. Right, the hospital. This is the same time that I was talking about that they like beeline me back to this separate area.
Right.
The doctors get in there. They try a little bit of suction and stuff like that, and she's just like, no, he's got to go in for surgery tomorrow.
Damn.
I'm like, well, this is blocking his airway, and she's like, oh, he'll be fine. And I'm like, yeah, I want to be sedated. So, I brought him back the next day. When he went into surgery, it was freaking traumatic for all parties involved, and it was a 10-minute surgery, $4,000. Man. What did I pay out of that? About $900.
10?
Not bad.
No, $900.
Was it like that Simpson? Was it like that surgery Homer Simpson had?
They found the crayon in his nose and ended up putting it back.
Your son gained 50 IQ points after they took the squinky out.
No, he knows not to put shit in his nose anymore.
But hopefully he's smarter because of it.
That's good for at least 5 to 10 right there.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is the second time he had to go to the doctor for sticking something up his nose.
Really?
Yeah. Hey. He did it 3 times though. Like the first time, my wife was able to get it out. Second time,
third time's a charm.
When the doctor third time was like, "Hey, buddy, what do we stick up our nose?" Nothing, Dad. Nothing.
All right.
What else you got there, Aaron?
Yeah, this is we coasted off my 3 things for a good hour and a half.
What's the leader of Korea right now?
Kim Jong-il?
Yeah,
or Kim Jong-un? Sorry.
Yeah, he was wasn't present for a huge ceremony for his grandfather and his father. So they don't know who's in charge of North Korea right now.
Oh, he just popped back up.
Oh, did he pop back up?
I think it was today, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was. He appeared somewhere. I think. The rumor that I heard is that he had gout.
Yeah, well, I heard that too, but...
What are you, 80?
No, yeah.
No, gout is like the rich man's disease. I worked for a guy who had gout, and it really comes from eating...
asparagus?
Asparagus, really?
Yeah.
I heard it was from too high of a protein diet.
Well, yeah, it is, but my brother got gout from eating too much asparagus.
Really?
Yeah, he found that asparagus was wonderfully tasty if you if you steam it. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I don't rag on my brother, but it was...
I love steamed asparagus.
Oh, it was so good, but he was eating it every single night for a week straight. Went to the doctor feeling like crap. It's not funny. I don't want to laugh because it's my brother. I love that guy. Yeah. So gout's very painful. I saw my brother go through it.
I was on an asparagus kick about a year ago. Man.
You got to watch that shit, man. Yeah, you get gout from that.
What the fuck is gout?
Your feet swell up. That's one thing I know. I don't know what else. I don't
look that shit up. You got WebMD.
Yeah. Let's diagnose ourselves. Pretend we have gout.
Let's get blue waffles out of the search bar there. Gout.
Here, we'll ask Google.
What does WebMD say about
what is gout?
Oh, gout is a type of arthritis. It occurs.
Gout, a disease in which defective metabolism of uric acid causes arthritis, especially in the smaller bones of the feet, deposition of chalk stones, and episodes of acute pain.
There you go.
So Kim Jong-il couldn't sit the fuck down at his uncle's funeral?
Right.
Or couldn't stand.
Or Kim Jong-un?
Yeah, it was like a ceremony for his grandfather and his father, and it's unprecedented that he wasn't there. It was just whoa.
Yeah,
it says maybe diabetes or the gout. Or I'm sorry, I put in the. It says or gout.
Oh. Is that what it's saying about Kim Jong-un?
Yeah, so maybe he's also got the diabetes. Diabetes.
It seems, I don't know. I mean, I imagine, from what I understand, gout is very painful, but I don't know that would stop you from making a major appearance with that.
That's
it
what
seems
they
like
were saying.
Something else is probably going on.
That's what they were saying. Yeah, it's very strange. And I don't remember which news source I was watching that said that.
But they also
Which newsertainment channel?
Yeah, newsertainment.
I mean, I think that in North Korea, this is as close as we get to a society that still views their leader as a god, basically.
Man, I
You
watched
know?
a documentary on that on Netflix.
Yeah.
About North Korea, they snuck this camera in.
Mm-hmm.
And it was for a doctor. I guess like one of their major problems they have is like eyesight. Anyways, like this doctor went in and could fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So like he was like an American doctor, American film crew went in, but they didn't know they were film crew. It was all like undercover. They had all these handlers and stuff like that. And at the very, very end, they had all like he cured like 1,000 people. They gave like 1,000 people's eyesight back.
Damn.
In like a week's time, maybe less. And these people all got up. And all they did was thank the great leader. And the one guy, thank you, great leader, for giving me my eyesight back. That's
right.
exactly what it was. And then one guy gets up there. He was probably 70 years old. He says, now that I have my eyesight back, I'm ready to go to war with the Americans for you. I will kill as many Americans as I can see now. It was, and I'm paraphrasing because it's not the exact, but it was, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like this
They're
doctor just,
brainwashed.
you didn't even thank the doctor.
Right.
Like, I understand you thank the great leader. Okay, I get it. That's your culture.
Right.
But like, thank the dude that gave you your eyesight back. Like, yeah, you thank the guy that let the guy in your country, but man, it's like that mentality is crazy. You know, like just to be like, thank you, President, for allowing me to sit here and have a chat with three guys on the internet have a chat.
North Korea, everything sunny all the time, always good time, beach party.
Well, they probably don't even know that a doctor did a procedure on. They had Kim Jong-un come in with like the scrubs on. They put him
all the time, yeah.
They put him under.
He's also the country's greatest doctor.
They put him under, and then the American doctor came in, fixed it,
Yeah.
and then when the guy woke up, there was Kim Jong-il.
There's a picture of Kim Jong-il, and they have like they went to some of these people's houses, and like the only thing on the wall was a picture of Kim Jong-il.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. It's freaking crazy. Pull up.
Kim Jong-il could not be reached for comment because he was having a totally normal day being alive and not dead. Now in sports, Scott Scotsman.
Thanks, Avery. Kim Jong-un won the championship today. Our brilliant comrade scored 200 points and then went hot tubbing with a couple guys he's definitely just friends with.
That's crazy. Inside North Korea, National Geographic.
Rob, gentleman who was here from earlier from the Weedsman, we watched a documentary a couple of years ago. Back when Vice was first getting started, they somehow, they snuck into North Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Did a story
they did a
about
whole
it, and
story
it was-
about people trying to get out of North Korea.
Yeah, and it was crazy. Just these people are, we talked about it on the Weedsman. Maybe it's the pot. We were like, oh, whatever. We believe you. We're high. We don't care. Yeah, sure, you're the greatest basketball player ever.
With these eyes that I have received, I will grab a gun and kill every one of the American enemies and terminate them from this earth.
North Korea is a place ruled by an absolute dictator who now possesses nuclear weapons.
That's what that guy says. After he gets his eyes
we
fixed,
have them
man.
too.
Wow.
That dude's like 70 years old. I was like, what? You're going to grab a gun and kill a bunch of Americans? Yeah, good luck with that. Like, where? Americans can't come into your country.
Yeah, I know, right?
How about the American people that are standing there?
You can't leave.
Yeah.
We can't get in.
Wait, you can't have a gun.
Yeah.
Right. This ain't America. It's North Korea. You can't have a gun, son.
Can't have your own opinion.
But he did go down to South Korea, like surprise visit down there a couple weeks back, I guess.
Wait, who did?
Kim Jong-un.
Oh, we went to South Korea.
Oh.
Yeah, surprise visit. I don't know what transpired out of it, but like again, that was another one of those newsertainment,
Yeah.
same newsertainment that I was watching. That so I got all these like all these like non-facts that I'm trying to spur a conversation up with here. How interesting! Tell me more. No, you look it up. There's a book that I want to bring over here.
What's that?
It's funny because I read this guy's writing in Playboy like back in 93-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And
back when people read magazines.
Yeah, and it was actually an article by this guy, and his name is James Bovard, and the book's called Lost Rights. And the funny thing is everything that was written in that book back then is like still true to this day, but like more amplified.
Yeah.
It's just really, he was telling stories about like a SWAT, and it's, not funny, but it's crazy that like, this cop that came in and shot that 7-year-old, did you hear about that?
Yeah, this happened in Detroit, right?
Yeah,
it was a raid that they were doing, and there was a 7-year-old in the house. And
in this book, he describes a 7-year-old laying on a couch, and this SWAT team came in, stormed the house. The SWAT guy jumped over the couch, didn't quite make it over the couch, and ended up stomping on this little girl's head, like a 7-year-old's head, and killing her. But like it's strange how like it's just history constantly repeating itself, and how our media is like is so much more, like there's more information out there. Like this dude wrote a book about it and made millions on it. So, but yeah, that was like I said, like in '93, and it's all about like it goes into like all the rights that we had lost as Americans up to that point. That was up to '93, and like we're still in the same boat, if not a little bit worse with all the crazy like anti quote unquote terrorist laws and stuff that are out there now.
Yeah,
and it's just crazy.
No, I heard of this loaded statement here, but no, I was hearing something the other day on Dr. Drew's podcast. Thank God I could say that without repercussions right now. But no, it was
Dr. Drew.
Yeah, no.
What do you mean, Dr. Drew? Everybody,
he had on a guy that was his guest, and he was talking about. It seems now I can't wait for people to hear what I'm about to say. This political correctness, like the social justice warriors. It's like McCarthyism on the other end now. It seems like
Oh, totally.
Like people are out for blood. They want repercussions. Look what I went through last year, where I almost lost my job.
Right.
Because I went on Matters closed, and I don't talk about who I work for, but I went on a local news station's website. And once again, we got in the villagers coming for Frank, and I dared to have an opinion from the other side than the rest of all of the crowd, and I got jumped on, and this was my fault. I was still using my real name on Facebook. I had who I worked for. They filed a complaint with my company.
Sure.
And it's like now it's the other end of the scale. They're out for blood.
Well, I know a guy works for a university, and he went on a forum. And it was all, he was talking about all these like school shootings and stuff like that. It was right after, what was the last really nasty big one?
Isn't that Sandy fucked Hook? Up that we have to say that? Which last one?
I think Sandy Hook was the last
Sandy
major.
Hook. It was right after Sandy Hook. And it was all these people like, oh yeah, we need to get rid of guns. And he came back, and for Homeland Security purposes, I'm just saying this to bring up this story, and you've already prosecuted the gentleman, so this is not my feelings at all. So he goes onto this website, and he says, well, what's to say that I don't just like strap a explosive device to myself and go in and blow up such and such elementary school? And he named the elementary school, like straight up named it. So I do a lot of security work at this university, and so I hear all about it because I'm very tight with all the public safety guys. And so the FBI, came in and took the computer that he wrote it on and all this stuff, and like he ruined his entire life off making a statement like that. Wow. Yeah, right. Because Homeland Security come in, boom, and what topped it all off is like he had like Guy Fawkes memorabilia all over his office because he looked like Guy Fawkes. Like he just looked like him. He'd like.
Oh, so that did not bode well for him when the government rolled in.
No, because Anonymous was like, the ultimate hackers at the time. I think they had hacked into like quite a few government websites at the time.
Right.
So, yeah, he was immediately. I mean, his wife left him and everything. He had no custody of children. No chance of getting a job anymore in information technology because that's what he was in. The judge actually banned him from using computers.
What?
Yeah. He is not allowed to use the internet.
Wow.
And I don't remember how long the sentence was, but it was like crazy, like 20 years or something like that. It just
holy fuck.
Yeah, right. I mean, for like, and again, I don't agree on what he said. Like that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the point he was trying to make, I get it. I would never ever condone that type. I mean, but that's the thing. You put it on the internet, man. I mean, that's I'm putting it on the internet now. I'm risking shit now just by saying that, talking about that. Because, that's not a kosher thing to say. It's not something I would ever do. So, but I would never go on a website and do that. and that wasn't Facebook. That was like Channel 4 or something. Their website.
Yeah.
He was on their website forums and just like, he was trying to put his point across of like, banning guns isn't going to stop people from killing people in buildings or kids in buildings, and because it's just sensationalism, and that's what those people are going for.
I mean, it works so well with drugs, right?
Well, yeah.
Just ban them.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, I mean, we don't have to get on the gun debate. I mean, that's fine. We all know how I feel. I know how you guys feel, and it's fine. And like that's a great thing about this country is we can all feel the way we feel about it.
Yeah, but in this case, I mean, this person was silenced for offering their opinion. Now, again, he went about it in a very poor manner.
Poor manner.
That doesn't mean that. I guess on one side, I'm like, well, I'm glad that these things are being investigated when people say inflammatory things like this.
Like ATF FBI investigated.
Yeah. Wow.
So, yeah, like it wasn't just like the FBI. It was ATF was involved as well because explosives were discussed. So it's ATF and E now, by the way. It's not.
An investigation is one thing, and an investigation alone can sometimes just ruin your career and ruin your life.
Yeah, it did.
But
well, we talked about it on I think the Weedsman allegation now is
allegation. It's a public conviction.
Yeah.
Well, have you heard like the new fun thing to do to your friends?
Yeah, swatting.
Swatting.
Oh yeah, we talked about this.
There was a pro gamer that was like,
we had talked about the story.
Isn't that a felony?
Crazy.
Like you are misappropriating. Government resources.
Absolutely. Yeah,
and
that's a crime.
Yeah. So
they prosecuted the gentleman.
Good. Yeah, and they found a joint in the guy's house, I think, and they let him off on let him go because it was just like it's a joint,
Right.
Like, come on, man. Like that's not.
Oh, the guy who had the SWAT team called on him.
Yeah, the guy, he was sitting there. Hang on, somebody's at my door. Yeah. And all of a sudden you see a SWAT guy come walking across.
Well, I think he actually said though he kind of knew what was going on because he said, "I think I'm being swatted." And he went to answer the door, and sure enough.
But that's another thing too. We're now in this we're in this last word society. Everybody now has to get the last word, and if I can't get the last word, I'm going to get you in some way, like swatting.
And that's
you
the
talk some
thing.
shit about me
It's
in
like,
Call of Duty, I'm going to have to call the SWAT team on you.
What I see that's shitty about that is
I demand satisfaction.
The frickin' SWAT team came out without an investigation. Like you broke into an American citizen's home because another person called and said this guy has blah 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 blah. I mean, come on, man. If that's
a horrible precedent, so that you can just any anonymous call will instigate.
Right.
Whatever happened
not an
to
investigation, but an actual
response.
Aren't they supposed to be watched for a few days before the SWAT team starts rolling in?
It depends.
Don't they need this crazy thing called proof?
Well, no. There's probable cause.
Right. Yeah.
And there's anything as probable cause. Like you looked wrong at the cop. It's probable cause. He was suspicious. Had suspicious activity.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Someone who would have been on my side.
Yeah.
The last podcast, we said I was going to get my Rage Against the Machine records taken away from me.
Now I have. What's funny is I have lots of law enforcement friends, and I mean they're great guys. Mm-hmm. And I mean I wouldn't say that law enforcement in general is fucked up. I would say that policies are fucked up because of they're doing their job.
Yeah.
Right, wrong and different. They're doing, and some of them don't. Some of them are like, fuck this, I'm not doing that. But those guys, they're funny guys. They're fun. They I have a lot of fun with them.
Yeah.
It just, it's different. It's really different. They have a different lifestyle than most people do. Because
I live by all right, let's run this by you. I live by the don't give them a reason mentality. We were watching a video, and the cop was getting a little, he was getting, with the questions he was asking the kid, he was getting a little, it was a little dicey.
He was profiling him.
But the kid started talking about I don't trust cops and I don't have to answer that. And my whole thing was going,
you're toast.
Not even prompting him, And my whole point was this kid was lucky. This cop seemed was he being a dick? Absolutely, but he's a little bit, what did we say, polite, not rational, because we were talking about...
We didn't agree on this. You said that...
I'm saying there was a couple police departments around here. There are 2 or 3 reasons they would have already been out of the car.
Right.
With what this kid was saying. And this cop he just kept talking with the kid. They were talking to each other in circles, and it ended up with have a nice night, but just...
Yeah, but you kind of painted it as, well, that was a reasonable cop, and he was polite. I saw this as the cop was up against the guy who he knew. The guy who was pulled over told the cop that he was recording it, and the cop was like, "Yeah, that's fine. You're being recorded too, audio and visual and video." But this guy, so the conversation was being recorded by the civilian, and the civilian also had
police or civilian too.
I'm sorry,
it's okay.
You're right.
I'm sorry to correct you, but I just like to throw that out.
Thank you. So
because you know what the word cop stands for, right?
No.
Civilians on patrol.
Oh, I did not know that.
Central Organization of Police Specialists with the cartoon in the 90s.
But it's Citizens on Patrol is where that word originated, and you can Google that if you'd like, because if I'm proven wrong, I will admit it. So,
do we want to just show them?
What?
Yeah, if you want, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Or do we want to?
Sure. Let's watch it again.
Yeah, instead of hearing us, tell our interpretation, let's let the man see for himself.
Yeah.
And I'll pull up something while you're doing it.
Like she felt she was going to puke, and she was like telling the officer that.
Here's your information back.
Thanks.
This is just a written warning. Make sure you have your headlights on, okay?
Yeah. Which, by the way, I noticed this after we watched it.
I do a lot, actually. I play out at Heritage.
You
It's
do?
my favorite course. Yep.
This is the police officer's recording.
Why
Look
is
at the angle.
everybody that plays frisbee
No, it's not. It's from inside the vehicle.
No, it's not everybody. It's just those celebrities.
Everybody, man.
Right. So
Never smoked weed before.
I mean, I'm not gonna tell you one way or another.
See, there you go. How much weed do you have in the car today?
I don't.
Nothing at all?
Nothing at all. Nothing on my person.
So if I searched your car, you wouldn't have anything in there at all?
If you search me right now, I would not have anything on my person.
What about your car?
Nothing in my car.
Okay. All right. You understand you're free to go and everything, but you wouldn't have a problem with me looking through your car?
I actually would, just because I have a disc golf bag doesn't mean that every disc golfer does have weed.
Boom! Get out of the car.
So
First spot.
Do you have weed in the car then?
No. What I'm saying is I would mind if you search my car because you're profiling.
I'm saying around here, a few police departments.
I just asked you a question, but you admitted that you have smoked weed in the past during our conversation, so that's why I'm asking.
Probably
no. What I said was I'm not going to say one way or another whether I have smoked pot.
Okay. Well,
Second, get out of the car.
But what we're not seeing is
smoke. I was saying one way or another.
The person speaking, we're not seeing his eyes, and we're not smelling his car.
I need to know about?
No. And just so you know, you are being recorded.
That's perfectly fine. So are you, audio and visual.
Perfect.
I just find it curious. Like you said, when I asked you that question, why is it everybody that plays frisbee golf smoke weed? And you're like, well, it's not everybody. So you answered my question there, and I asked you if you've ever smoked weed. Like you said, you're not going to say either way. So that's a yes to me. Because if you didn't, you would say no, correct?
No.
Okay.
Because I don't trust police officers, so I feel like I don't have to give
you're out of the car.
you an answer.
But he's right.
All right, well, if you don't have any questions, you're free to go then.
All right, excellent. Hey, thank you very much, officer. I'd just like to shake your hand.
So I'm saying that kid gave him, at least for departments around here, at least 3 or 4 opportunities.
Actually, no, that would have been a lawsuit. It would have been a lawsuit.
Yeah,
it would have been a lawsuit.
I'm not saying it was right. I'm just saying that's how it would have went down.
The thing is the cop asked him permission to search his car. The guy said no. That you have the right to tell a police officer, no, you're not searching my car.
Right.
Obviously, the cop did not have enough probable cause to search the car. Was he profiling because he was a disc golfer? I don't know. I don't see the whole story. I don't know the cop side of things. That's the thing. But off that video, I can't tell why the cop wanted to search the guy's vehicle, except for the fact that the guy admitted in a roundabout way that he smokes pot or has smoked pot. Because I would have been like, that's either none of your business, which I don't think I would say because I'm more respectful than that. I would have said that is irrelevant at the time. That's irrelevant right now.
Yeah.
Or who hasn't? Or no. Just come on. All right, here's the thing with cops. Everybody lies to a cop. Everyone.
Sure.
Even your grandma.
Yeah.
If you have a living relative, anybody lies to police officers. I've talked to lots of cops. The reason I'm not a cop is I don't want to deal with assholes. Every person I speak to is an asshole liar. And I mean, unfortunately, that's the police mentality. Unfortunately. But I mean, honestly, I've been in situations with cops that I've told them the honest truth. And I mean, I've been in, I got in a fight in Micro Center.
Mm-hmm.
So what? It's funny. Yeah, I got in a fight in Micro Center, right? Well, I didn't fight. I shoved the guy. So I physically touched the guy, so it's considered assault.
Yes.
Okay.
No, it wasn't a chat war?
No, it was physical assault. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I stayed. I stuck around. My wife's like, we got to go. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. They call the cops. I don't want anybody getting my license plate.
Right.
I'm going to stay here and I'm like, I'm probably going to jail I told him, I'm probably going to jail. We're going to stay here. We're going to make our purchase, and we're going to wait.
Yeah.
So the cops showed up, 7 cops, because this guy is screaming on the phone to 911, this fucking big redheaded bitch, blah, 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 blah. Like in my face, like screaming at me, right?
Uh-huh.
You know, and this was like after I shoved him. I shoved the guy and I walked away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I realized just like that, oh shit, I made a mistake.
Right.
But I made the mistake. The police showed up. I said to the cop, I assume that you want my side of the story now. And he kind of like looked at me, and I told him my side of the story. He says, well, that's not the story we're getting. I'm like, well, isn't that always the case?
Right.
I'm like, officer, I'm telling you the truth from my side of it. I'm like, I don't see his side. I don't know his side. I'm like, all I know is the guy was cursing at me when I was holding my 3-year-old daughter, and I have my pregnant wife.
Mm-hmm.
And he was calling me a fucking asshole when I had my 3-year-old daughter in my arms, and I asked him to please watch his mouth, and he wouldn't do it. So what do? I'm like, you don't tell me walk away, because you wouldn't have walked away. You would have put his ass on the ground. I'm like, and it wouldn't have been just what I did.
Yeah.
I'm like, I touched him. I put my hands on him. I freely admit that to you. I realized it was a mistake 5 seconds after I did it, and I walked away at that time because I felt that I had proven my power over him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, he pushed it to the next level. I'm like, the thing is, I don't call the police to protect me, you know,
right,
unless it's necessary. That guy, I walked away. He could have just gone about his business and just chalked it up as, another asshole.
But that's his revenge, is getting the police to come here and harass him. Yeah.
So here's the thing.
Back to that blood mentality.
I talked to the cops respectfully, reasonably, calmly. I didn't go to jail. I didn't even get asked for my identification.
Really?
Nothing.
Yeah, I've been any situation I've been with the police. I've been honest.
And
I'm sitting here with my clean arrest record.
This is actually it's funny because I
got any pot? Is it a lot? No.
Right.
You know, it's like
right. Let me see. You know, man. Like, really, do you want to do the paperwork on that? Like, that's really that's what you got to say. Like,
right?
Really?
No, I have. It's been like been like a couple joints worth. It's like, and that's pretty much the thing. It's like, go home. You know, like they run my ID. I don't have a record. Get out of here.
I read this article. It was on Facebook. It's from a website called Opposite Lock. Okay. And it's a gentleman who wrote it is Steve Lido. It's called How to Reduce the Odds of Being Ticketed During a Traffic Stop. I'm not going to read the whole article. I'm just going to go right down to the ways to how to deal with a cop. All right. Oh, there it is.
Not to be confused with Chris Rock's How Not to Get Your Ass Whooped by the Police.
If it's not broad daylight, turn on your overhead interior lights so that before the officer gets to your car, he or she can see if there are people in the back seat, in the passenger seat, and most importantly, you want to put the officer at ease as quickly as possible. Police officers notice these things.
They want to know where your hands are. I am fully aware of that.
Put your hands on the steering wheel at 10 and 2. Ideally, the officer will be able to see your hands while standing at the rear bumper of your car. Once you have done these things, 1, pulled over. 2, turned on the interior light. 3, rolled your window down. And 4, placed your hands on the steering wheel. Do nothing else.
Right.
Do not move. Do not look around. Do not start digging for your paperwork. The officer will approach, most likely ask, do you know why I pulled you over? This guy's a lawyer that wrote this.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one piece of advice I will give you, which police officers will disagree with, but you will see why. I advise you not to confess. You ran the red light. You were speeding. My advice is to politely say, no, I'm sorry, I don't, and leave it at that. Some people will suggest you ought to say, yes, I ran the red light, but I don't know if honesty is going to help you here. See, he's telling you to lie.
Right.
So that's that little white lie.
But I'll disagree with him because in most cases where I've admitted to what, pull you over, I was speeding.
Yeah,
check the record, have a nice. It's an integrity move.
My one ticket I got out of was like that. I made a left turn on a red light, and the cop pulled me over. And she pulls me over. She comes up to the door, and I'm like, "You nailed me." I'm like, "You so got me." She goes, "Give me your stuff," and I'm like, "All right." So I gave her
because if they think you're lying, the next thing is what else are they lying about?
Yep. So, let me see.
Do you have a trunk full of heroin?
And by the way,
small Chinese girl in your trunk.
When you roll down your window completely, it's to summarize. When pulled over by a police officer, pull over quickly as far as safely as possible. Roll down your window completely. Turn on your overhead interior light. Put your hands on the steering wheel at 10 and 2. Do not admit you broke the law. If asked for license and paper, announce your movements beforehand. Sit still while waiting for the officer to return. Do not say anything remarkable to the officer at the end of the stop. I'm not saying every ticket written is righteous. I am also not saying that the foregoing will protect you. If your back seat is filled with sawed-off shotguns and bottles of counterfeit currency sitting in plain view, I'm not a magician. This guy's a lawyer.
If you have a trunk full of white
Jim,
children,
just an
this
old
may not
country
work
lawyer,
out well for you.
But if you get pulled over in run-of-the-mill traffic stop, following this advice will lessen the odds of you getting a ticket, and if you still get a ticket, increase the odds that you can get some slack cut on it later should you decide to fight it. And the reason he states that, the reason he states that, like, to say all that stuff is because you're not rememberable by the police officer. So he didn't write any notes on the back of your ticket. You go in to fight it,
right?
And like, he's not going to remember you, and you could just be let off. So, and I have been let off on a ticket of, because the cop didn't remember me. But
I've never.
It's such a great feeling when they don't show up in court. It is so awesome.
Well, yeah, and
your name gets called half an hour after the session starts.
The other key to that is you have the right to reschedule your court date once.
Yeah.
So what you do is usually you're 6 weeks off, right? Well, the week before your court date, you reschedule it because now you just threw off the whole schedule. And you ask them for, like, if your court date was scheduled on a Wednesday, you ask them next time for Tuesday or Thursday, because usually they schedule that court date for the cop's day off.
Can I get Friday at 4:30?
I have to work. I have to work on those days. Blah blah blah. Is there any way you could work with me? And most court people that work at the court, they're pretty reasonable people, and they'll be like, yeah, well, okay, I understand, because I've talked to a lot of court people as well, and what they usually say, what a couple of them have said to me is, these people are no different than me. They've just been caught.
Right, yeah.
Which is hilarious because it's so true. Because, everybody makes mistakes. But it's just, the point is, shut your fucking mouth. Let the cop do his job. Get him the hell out of there. If he wants to search your vehicle, say no respectfully. Don't say, I don't trust cops knowing you're not searching my, arguing with a cop is a losing situation. The only reason that cop let that go is because the guy was semi-respectful.
Yeah.
He did say he didn't like cops, which in most cases gets you ripped out of the car.
Yeah.
Because now you're personally attacking the person standing in front of you for their position, the career path that they chose.
He's doing nothing but his job.
Right, yeah, he's doing his job, which is a suck job, and it doesn't pay a whole lot. And a lot of cops have that power mentality, like, I got power over you.
Yeah.
But if you just, like, let them have the power and, like, and then assert your power when you have it, like by knowing your rights when you get pulled over, usually things end up fine. Like that kid, if he would have gotten a ticket, because the thing was, the cop was all done when he came up to that. At that point, there was no ticket written.
Yeah.
It was a written warning.
Yeah.
So the cop wasn't going to go back to his car and write the kid up a ticket, because that would have been another red flag to his supervisors. And his superiors would have been like, really? Or like, eh.
Cool.
Right. Yeah. You painted it as reasonable cop, and I took it as the cop backed down. It wasn't worth the
paperwork.
It wasn't worth the paperwork or anything else. Yeah. Or the fact that if this guy is going to go this far to say to my face what his rights are and who he does not trust, then this guy's probably going to take it all the way to court. There's going to be more time out of my personal life where I'm going to have to show up.
Yeah.
And when this guy fights this ticket,
they're paid for court days. There's no time off. It's paid for court days.
Okay. Well, yes, that's true.
They're coming for your Rage Against the Machine albums too.
Yeah, well, most cops I know listen to Rage Against the Machine. That's fine. There's one that actually on Facebook, he posted a video of him drunk karaoke singing 9 Inch Nails or something like that. It's hilarious. This dude is like the epitome of police officer. So, and it's funny we're talking about this because, check out my shirt.
There you go, Detroit Police.
I was waiting to catch some shit on that today.
I didn't even notice. I thought it was a Lions shirt.
I know, that's it. I know.
I have a Macomb County Sheriff shirt. My mom used to work in the medical records division at the jail.
Yeah.
So,
and he wears it underneath everything.
Yeah. No, what's funny too is I can talk about this because I didn't do it knowingly. Is one time, which by the way, I was like high as hell, but I'm in a 7-Eleven on like a hot day. I'm wearing this T-shirt.
You were high?
But I had just shaved my head. And I bought a Slurpee, and I'm not thinking nothing of. I'm thinking I'm fucking high and I need a Slurpee.
Yeah.
And I put it down on the counter, and the person's like, "You're all set." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "No, it's all set, man." And I'm like, I'm just high and confused, and I'm like, "Okay." And as I'm walking out, I look at my shirt, I look at the Slurpee.
Yeah. No, I have to.
I just took a kickback.
Yeah.
And I'm not even a cop.
No, 7-Eleven's like that though.
Yeah.
I accidentally wore this shirt to my son's baseball game.
Yeah.
Like, no, I wasn't just like you. I just wasn't thinking. I was sober, by the way. I was totally sober. But I usually in the summertime I keep my head pretty tight shaved, you know, and I actually had my beard trimmed up. So I look like a narcotics cop, you know, and I've actually been accused of that a couple times. And
me too.
So
whenever I meet anyone and we're just smoking, like they're like, "You sure you're not a cop?" Like, fucking positive, man. Yeah.
So I'm sitting at the baseball game and like I got treated like shit, man. Like the people that were around, like usually I talked to a lot of the like parents that were on my son's team. You know, I'm like,
really?
All of a sudden this day I'm wearing this shirt. Nobody talked to me. From then on out, nobody talked to me.
It's like the Black Panthers versus Michigan militia softball game.
Priceless. That's priceless. But no, it was just, I was like, wow, you know, like I that's really messed up. Is because of a T-shirt. I got totally ostracized. You know, it was like, you know, I've worn freaking Cannibal Corpse T-shirts with like baby fetuses hanging off of meat hooks and not got that response. I've gotten the like, oh, you dumbass.
To be fair, you were at the abortion clinic.
No, it was just So I just gave that shirt up. Actually, Scott's got that shirt now because that came from a friend of ours that passed away.
It was like advertising.
Yeah. So
it could be worse. We don't do this.
But no, I mean the whole thing with cops, man, is just basically don't be a dick. And if they're being a dick, let them be a dick because you know what? Yeah. You get their license and that, you know, like if you're recording it, you got their, you know, their number and everything like that.
There's an echo in here from 5 days ago.
Yeah. So, you know, it's unfortunate, and it's like, yeah, you know, your ego is getting smashed to pieces, but like, fuck it, man. You just take. I just like shut my emotions off, honestly. When I'm talking to a cop on that level of things, I just shut my emotions off, let the guy do his job, you know. And yeah, I have the right to drive down the street with a freaking, you know, to not be. And it's easy for me to say I'm a white dude, you know, like a freaking like glowing white dude. I don't have to turn my interior light on. My fucking skin lights the whole thing up. So, you know, and yeah, I guess I have the white, you know, that whole white, like, what do you call it? You coined it earlier. I forgot what the hell you call it, but
white privilege.
Yeah, white privilege. I guess I have white privilege, and I'm ignorant to.
I didn't coin that.
Well, I know you didn't coin it, but you said it earlier. Sorry, but I mean, I guess I'm privy to the
put
white.
That on me.
Yeah, I'm privy to the white privilege, and I don't like. I'm fine with that, you know, but I'm ignorant to any other because I have never been, you know, I've been talked to, you know, like I've had people be racist to me, and honestly, I don't really care. You know, because I don't have to deal with, I don't have the struggle going on, you know, and I don't mean that in a racist way. I'm just saying that I understand that, you know, I watched the show Blackish the other day. So, you know, but I mean, so, I know all
some of my favorite shows are black.
Yeah, no, well,
Blackish.
Well, no, that's the TV show's name is Blackish. I don't really appreciate the name of it, but I mean, you know, and I brought to a point, you know, and talking to the African American guys or black guys that I know, you know, I talked to them about that. I'm just like, hey, you know, I'm interested. I don't want to be ignorant, and I don't want to sound like a racist talking about racism to you. I just don't want to be ignorant about it. I want to find out because, like, as a bunch of white guys sitting around, we say racist things all the time. We don't really realize it. You know, it's not. You know, it's not, you know, it's our culture and the cultural difference. But yeah, I'm sure, you know, we've seen that police do, you know, profile and it's obvious. I'm not ignorant to that.
That's the thing. This subject that's come up quite a few times is that there's racism going both ways, but the when you have minorities hating, well, I don't know if we even want to call it minorities.
I'm a minority too, damn it.
Right. Well, we have people of other colors being racist against white people. It's like, well, okay, but it doesn't really affect us. It doesn't stop us from getting a job, from moving ahead in life, from getting a loan. Yeah. You know, it's not impairing us in society.
I was denied a Coney dog because I'm serious. I walked into a Coney place down in Detroit, and like literally the cook saw me. And the waitress or whatever would not approach me.
No Coney's for crackers.
No, the cook came out. Yeah, the cook came out of the kitchen and said, "I think you're in the wrong place. There's a Coney place down the road that you'll be more welcome to."
Really?
Yeah, and I've actually had party stores. 2 party stores downtown say, I walked in the door, and I mean, there was one of them, there was a guy playing guitar sitting on the floor at this party store.
Yeah.
Like, not even begging. He was just playing guitar. Must have been hanging out with his buddies.
Yeah.
Stops playing guitar when I walked in. And when he stopped playing guitar, there was 5 other people in the store that turned and looked at me like, what? You know, and I didn't mean to make it sound like that either. And I walked up to the counter. I'm like, can I get a pack of Marlboro Reds in a box? And the guy says, yeah, at the store down the street.
We don't care.
Wow.
And I said, okay, I appreciate your time. Have a nice day. And it wasn't like terrible, and so I was like, okay, I'm not welcome here. That's fine. I won't fucking shop here. And then I told all the black people that I knew, or the African American people, however you want to. I told them all that I knew that actually works like right there. I'm like, hey, this happened in the store over there. They're like, well, fuck that store.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't put up with racism either way. That comes around to the term reverse racism, which is not racism. It's racism is fucking racism.
Right. Reverse racism is acceptance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not like okay, I'm not a race. I am. I'm a Caucasian dude.
I'm a bummer. I don't know. I shouldn't be. I'm a very
yeah. Thanks a lot.
It has nothing to do with how you look.
It's no, nothing at all.
Huge leg up. Are you kidding me? Oh, God, I love being white. I really do.
Yeah.
Seriously, if you're not white, you're missing out.
By the way, if anybody wants to know what I look like, just look up Louis C.K. Plus about 6 inches and taller and less white.
He's fatter.
Yeah.
I'm saying that being white is clearly better. Who could even argue? If it was an option, I would re-up every year. Oh, yeah, I'll take white again. Absolutely. I'm enjoying that. I'm going to stick with white. Thank you. Here's how great it is to be white. I could get in a time machine and go to any time, and it would be fucking awesome.
See, it's racist that we're laughing.
That is exclusively a white privilege. Black people can't fuck with time machines. A black guy in a time machine is like, hey, anything before 1980? No, thank you. I don't want to get
No shit, man.
But I can go to any time. The year 2? I don't even know what's happening then. But I know when I get there, welcome, we have a table right here. It's lovely here in the year 2. I can go to any time. In the past. I don't want to go to the future and find out what happened.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, that's going away.
It is shit. You got to know that. They're not going to just fall from number 1 to 2. They're going to hold us down and fuck us in the ass forever. And we totally deserve it. But for now,
He's going to bring it around here even better here at the end.
I love this one.
Now, if you're white and you don't admit that it's great, you're an asshole. It is great. And I'm a man. How many advantages could one person have? I'm a white man. You can't even hurt my feelings. Can you really call a white man that really digs deep? Hey, cracker. Oh, racist. Day. Boy, shouldn't have called me a cracker. Bringing me back to owning land and people.
Oh, they're going to stop it, but he goes into more about being a woman. I don't know. That's one of my favorite movies.
Mine too.
We'll wrap this one up. Thanks for listening. Thanks for liking. Thanks for sharing. ChristopherMedia.net. @UnregimentedPod on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. All that mess. And we will catch you on the next one.
All right. Thanks for listening.
If you enjoy this show and want more people to know about it, head on over to iTunes, leave a comment, and rate it 5 stars. Make sure you like and share us on Facebook, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Just search for Christopher Media. Thank you in advance for supporting Christopher Media by clicking on the PayPal button and by clicking through to all the sponsors who support ChristopherMedia.net. Most importantly, we would like to take the time to extend an extra special thanks to you. Christopher Media could not exist without your support. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.